Video Dream Journal, Take 1. This is day 1 of my new trial. I was previously working with Silene capensis, or Ubalawu. I've not quite got the hang of it. My goal was to use that specifically because it is specifically used for contacting dead ancestors, and I wanted to see if I could do that across, not having grown up in an African tribal background. I am switching gears to CaleaPart1, which is a Central American dream herb, which I've used before and I know is much more, to me at this stage, it is much more readily useful. I know exactly how to use it. You're supposed to traditionally drink a tea with it before bed and smoke some. I usually just smoke a lot because it tastes disgusting. And believe it or not, the tea is worse than smoking it. But I know that it is very effective. It increases the ability to recall your dreams when you wake up and the vividness of them. Usually takes a few days to set in. Last night was the first night I tried it, and I'm going to be doing it in a row, every night in a row for as long as possible, trying to see if patterns develop, trying to see if I can, kind of give some sort of sense to the dreams. Just examine the entire process and see what happens. I'm also going to be researching dream herbs in general to complement this. Last night or this morning being the first morning, it wasn't entirely clear and vivid like I've experienced before, but it was certainly more than I usually get out of a dream. There was a lot of fleeting instances, emotions. I felt my brother was living in Philly, which he doesn't, with a friend of mine. There was a dilapidated house involved and possibly a dog. I felt like I was being chased and or looking for something. I know that's really vague, and hopefully things will get more interesting than that. But I'm expecting by day 3 or 4 to have quite a lot to say. So this is my examination of dream herb, its effectiveness, and the sense I can make out of it. Okay, day 2 of my video journal for the use of CaleaPart1, which is a Central American dream-inducing herb, or oneric herb. As expected, stronger than the first night, still kind of vague. I expect to have fully detailed, relatable stories within maybe even tomorrow. What I got yesterday was sort of predictably semi-subconscious juxtapositions of things like a regular dream. At some point I believe I was the impression I got was that I was with an ex-girlfriend of mine on some sort of beach with other people, running from my mom. She wasn't being any kind of aggressive. She was just embarrassing the shit out of me. Not sure what to make of that. What struck me most, actually, about the entire dream was the scenery itself, the environment. I have these impressions of the beach, which for some reason seemed more enclosed to me, like it was a lake, or perhaps the entire thing was on an island. There was a large, tree house sort of structure. Like the first night, it is a dream that has included family and environment to a degree of very specific impression. That's the vague continuity I get from these two. Maybe there's more to be connected maybe these are warm-ups for something completely different to come. Not sure if there will be such a thing as continuity, but we will see. Okay, day 3 of CaleaPart1 dream herb testing. I had surprisingly a shorter dream than I expected as far as remembering it goes, but the detail was the most vivid it's been so far. It was one very specific scene, one moment of a person who might be described as kind of a stereotypical 80s street punk extra you might see in some, Mad Max ripoff or something. And he had some sort of tool that I don't think was a regular knife, but it wasn't large. And he very cleanly cut somebody's face off with it in half and then proceeded to kind of cut his own hair a little bit right afterward. Alright, days 4 and 5 respectively. Day 4 was a lot more mild than I expected, actually, because I did everything how I thought was right, and I was already on kind of a roll. All I remember is some guy who was on an unusual bike. It was either a tricycle or a unicycle. All I know is this is not normal. Going around in circles on this asphalt, and he had multiple arms, and he was waving. That's pretty much all I remember. Day 5 was much more interesting, though. I had, again, there's so much vague that's going on. I should make point to say that feeling the whole time is important. The emotion and visual imagery that is conjured is, more important feeling than I could relate here. So suffice to say that it was really vivid. But there was some sort of sensation of a game going on. I felt like maybe it was on the surface compared to an inner layer that I'll get to later. But on the surface there was like burning fields, like possibly being doused with oil, and it was treated as a game. They were just burning these fields, and that I was somehow being told was the equivalent of what was going on the other layer. And in the other layer, it was kind of like a CGI model of of a tetrahedron, or like a 3D pyramid. And zooming in and out of that, there was all these little geometric shapes inside. They might have been all boxes, but they varied in how many boxes there were. There were stacked little cubes, and I remember zooming into one and then another and kind of being given information about them, but I don't remember what that is. I specifically felt like each of those things was linked to, I got the sensation it was from a game I played when I was young, that I've even played recently, but it wasn't obvious at all. I just had that sensation was linked. There was nothing obvious that would say they're connected. Not really sure what to make of that.